thanks for. So let's let our meeting be recorded first, and that will thank for that. With that said, we have a number of things to give thanks for. First off, I'm not sure how many of you heard, but the charitable giving statistics came out for last year, and we all agreed last year was the most unique year any of us have ever lived. But in the United States, charitable giving was up 5% year over year, which was really an encouraging thing about the American spirit in general. So, kudos to the 1%, the Mackenzie Scotts of the world, and the billions and millions that came out of a couple of faucets. But thanks all the way down to everybody on this phone call as we move through the donations we make, $10 bills, $5 bills, even $1 bills when we do Bill Gibbs Happy and Sad Days. So again, just give thanks to the spirit of human resilience and the fact that we were able to rise to the occasion in that regard in charitable giving. Secondarily, we'd be remiss if we didn't thank on what's today is California Reopening Day. But in addition to that, I think a special shout out to San Diego in particular, our hometown, because reaching that 75% long elusive herd immunity gives us that extra layer of safety and that we can feel comfortable about. Although we'll still remain vigilant relative to variants and things like that, it's still a day of celebration to reach that herd immunity piece. And then I think I'll also mention a hooray, since we're celebrating today. It's also the coming out party for Just in Time for Foster Youth. Tonight at the Sky Deck up in Del Mar. We're going to have our first big event after canceling our large gala event 2 years in a row. And so that'll be an exciting opportunity for hundreds of people to see each other for the first time in person who haven't touched or hugged in many, 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 many moons. And we'll touch base on Just in Time a little bit later today anyway. But last, in closing, whenever we have an extended heat wave like we have right now, we always want to remain vigilant and say our prayers in advance for, the fire country and the fire risk that exists whenever we have these extended heat waves. And so keeping those in mind, along with all of our celebration of thanks, amen to today, and on we move with our celebration. Thank you.
Amen.
Very good. Thank you for that, Gordon. I believe now we have a Kiwanis presentation. Yes.
Even if they slip, we're here to catch them.
You might get to do the Hawaiian dance, Mike, with your Hawaiian shirt.
I have been known to dance a little bit. I need to brush up on my hula dancing, however. So give me a chance prior to the July 20th meeting. You got a deal. I'd like to welcome today's guests, in particular our presenters, Inez and Samantha, who we'll hear from a little bit later. And then Mary Darling, thank you for joining us from SDSU. How is it on campus today?
It's beautiful. Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. And then any members who have guests? Gordon, I know you have a special guest. Would you like to introduce your special guest?
I do. I'm very, very pleased. I referenced in the invocation Just in Time for Foster Youth's coming out party tonight. And I actually have on with us today, we're very pleased, honored, and privileged to have Sanam Charlton, who's the Youth Services Coordinator for Just in Time for Foster Youth. Sanam's been in San Diego for about 3 years, and I'll yield the floor to her and let her give you a brief explanation and snapshot of her amazing journey from many, many miles away from here to get to San Diego today. So Sanam, welcome to Kiwanis, and take it away.
Thank you so much, Gordon. I am really excited to be here. When I was afforded this opportunity, I honestly couldn't believe that I was valued as much to, be brought here and share in this vision of the Kiwanis group with you all. And I'm actually originally from Karachi, Pakistan. I moved here when I was 10 My family, we came here. It was a difficult time. We arrived here and we overstayed our visa. So we were actually undocumented for a very long time, but it didn't stop me from fighting hard to actually gain a great education and push forth and go to the University of Florida, where I got my bachelor's in accounting and I minored in international development and humanitarian assistance. So it's been in my bones and my blood to be part of organizations that help others and support others to succeed and thrive. So I've always been part of nonprofits, whether it was, going to DC and starting an internship there at the Aga Khan Foundation, or moving on to the Environmental Integrity Project, where we supported the environment by, ensuring that the EPA was doing what it was supposed to do, all the way to the Honor Foundation, which is an amazing organization here in San Diego. I was also an elementary school teacher. I got my master's in early childhood education. So I am very passionate about working with children. And it was something I did for 2.5 years until my husband and I moved here. I worked for the Honor Foundation, and it was an interesting moment because I realized that my supervisor wanted me to become a controller at the organization, and my heart kind of just sank because I realized that wasn't what I wanted to do. And that kind of started the whole ball rolling, and it led me to Just in Time, which is exactly where I'm supposed to be. I am so excited to be part of this organization that supports our youth, pave the way to success and thrive. So I'm really happy to be here. I'm happy to be part of this journey with you. And I really look forward to learning from you and building these connections with you. So thank you for having me.
Well, welcome, Sanam, and we are delighted to have you, and congratulations on all your accomplishments and to your post at Just in Time. And,
Thank you.
Indeed. Enjoy the rest of the program. And at this time, I would like to pass it over to our illustrious past president and chairwoman of the day, Judy Leitner, to present today's program.
I was so listening that I had to, I forgot to unmute. So we have some amazing guests today, and I think you all will feel the same once you've had a chance to hear from our speaker, Dr. Inez Gonzalez Perez Chicas, who actually I met when she was just starting her career. And I lost touch with her and have since read her bio, what she's been doing these past couple of decades, and it's just amazing. She's the executive director of MANA, which is a local organization. It's a national organization, but this is a standalone chapter, MANA de San Diego, and she'll explain more about that organization later. But that organization has been here since 1986, empowering Latinas through education, leadership development, community service, advocacy. And prior to that, she was the founding director of Latino Communications Institute at Cal State Fullerton. And prior to that, she was executive director of the National Hispanic Media Coalition. And she's a past alumni of LEAD San Diego. We've got a few of those with us today too in the audience, Inez. Her class, I think, was 2001. She's a fellow with the Hispanas Organized for Political Equity, the Women's Policy Institute, and National Hispana Leadership Institute. She got her undergraduate degree from San Diego State. So Mary, so you have a fellow Aztec. She got her master's at the Harvard School of Kennedy School. She got her doctorate at Cal State Fullerton. She's a proud binational citizen. She was born and raised in Tijuana, and she's been in San Diego here recently. And so I'm pleased and hope you all will join me in welcoming Inez.
Thanks so much, Judy. I was so delighted to get this invitation, and it's really great to reconnect with you. I worked at the Metropolitan Transit Development Board for 8 years. Jack Limber, I don't know if any of you knew him, but he was a mentor and great friend, and I stayed connected. And that agency really formed me as a professional. I really got my, great skills there. We, Mana de San Diego and Kiwanis have a lot in common, and I'm really excited to connect with you because I think we can learn from you. Already in this meeting, like my soul is touched, it's just good vibes, good people. It's just so obvious. And the way you run your meeting, I'm already learning. And so Mana de San Diego is celebrating 35 years of history, and we are part of a national organization, but we're the largest chapter, and we really are pretty much act like an independent nonprofit organization. And it was built by people like you, Latinas, that wanted to come together to form a community. First of all, that's what they wanted to do. They wanted to connect with other Latinas. It was actually a woman from Texas that had been part of a chapter in Texas, and she came to San Diego, and she was like, "Where are the Chicanas?" And she like got them together, and that's how it started. And we're actually being very conscious of telling our story, of getting it right, and we're doing a short video of our first decade. And that's why I'm so familiar with our first president and the struggles. It wasn't easy. And I'm sure you probably can empathize. They talk in the beginning of having 2 women show up for the meetings and just, stay in the car just to see if anybody else showed up. And now we are a member organization with over 500 paid members, and so many more that feel that are part of the community that forget to pay for their membership fee, but that's okay. We love them. And we're just doing amazing work. So I'm gonna start. I wanna introduce Samantha, and Samantha is the administrative assistant here. She is also one of our hermanitas, and her mother was one of our hermanitas. So her mother went through our program, our mentoring program, and then she decided her daughters must go through our program as well. And Samantha is the 2nd generation then hermanita, and she graduated from college and then from UCLA. And then we hired her right after college, giving her almost her first opportunity to start her career. And now she's going to be leaving us soon because she's going to go to grad school. And so I'm just so happy that we were able to give her that opportunity to develop as a professional, and that she's able to help us tell our story of how we touch people's lives. Samantha, you should show yourself a little bit. We love your picture, but why don't you introduce yourself briefly?
Hi, everyone. Nice to meet you all. My name is Samantha Jimenez. Like Inez said, I am the admin assistant here at Mana de San Diego. My mom was one of the first hermanitas of when the program began. So she was the first group or cohort when the mentorship program started. I did go through the Hermanitas program myself. When I graduated from high school and started at UCLA, I was still mentored with the previous mentors that I had in the Hermanitas program. And since graduating, I've been working here at Mana. And so I am super excited to be here, and I will be assisting Inez with our presentation today.
Thank you. So why don't we show the video, and then we'll go to the slides.
Hermana, Spanish for sister. Mana de San Diego is a sisterhood that empowers and supports Latinas through our programs. Hermanitas, Youth Leadership Mentor Program, preparing students for college. Scholarships, awarding up to $30,000 annually, opening educational doors. Latina Success Leadership, advancing career opportunities, taking aim at the glass ceiling. Help us continue to succeed and be part of our familia. Join Mana de San Diego today.
Thank you. We'll go to the next slide. So that was done by our community partner at Cox, and it's a little bit dated and it's missing one of the programs. But I'm going to start with the Hermanita program. That was the first program we created over 30 years ago. So we've been managing this program, and it's just been growing. That our founders can't believe how much it's grown. So it's 65 girls that we serve a year, and about 12 of them graduate each year from high school to college. Last year, 12 graduated and all 12 went to college. And this year, 12 are graduating, 10 are going to college. One is taking a gap year, and one we're still, trying to get information from her. But, this was after COVID, right? And it was a hard year, and we're just so proud of them. What makes our program unique is that they started 7th grade, and we do have mentors that have been with their mentee since 7th grade to high school. And that, that's a big commitment from our mentors, right? To do that. Not everybody, some of them do have a new mentor every year, but it's just a wonderful thing that we're able to provide. And they just feel the support, and it's growing their confidence, it's developing their leadership, and then making sure that they are considering college. And after that, the program that wasn't included in the PSA that exists is TIAS. So now we have a program where we follow the girls in college, because we're not done once they enroll in college. I'm an educator, and I know that the majority of college students, Latino students, we lose them in the first year. And why is that? They're first generation college students. Many of them are low income. They're non-traditional. Some of them are older. They have to work. That 4-year track that I graduated in 4 years. That's kind of a privilege nowadays. And, it just takes 7 years. It takes 8 years. That's why graduation means so much. It definitely means so much to somebody that graduated 4 years. But you can imagine, a parent that has been going at night, and, it just takes so long. What an accomplishment, right? So TIAS has sent care packages and sends notes of encouragement, but now we're going to another level of actually helping them find internships. Because one thing that we know with first generation college students, they don't have the parents that know how to become successful. And so this is why the community and all of us are so important for first generation college students, because the college student needs to know that it's not enough to just go to class and get good grades. They must get career relevant experience. This is all I learned at Cal State Fullerton, and I saw how my intervention with the Institute, how we really were able to change the future of students' lives, because they've made a lot of sacrifices to get to college, and they want to be successful professionals. But 46% of college students are underemployed for 5 years. They cannot figure out how to get in to a job. And here in San Diego with biotech, there's so much need to figure out how to help this first generation college student with limited social capital, how to help them package themselves so biotech, opens the door to them. So this is the type of work that we're starting to get into. Biotech wants diversity, but we already see what the struggles are. The imposter syndrome is real. We're talking to biotech now, and we recently started working with Arena Pharmaceutical. We were very lucky to just start talking to them, and we offered this workshop for our college students. We invited them to come and meet Arena, and not many attended, and it's just so frustrating. But they didn't attend because they just think like biotech just sounds like a foreign language, right? And so we have to support them. We have to let them know that they are good enough, that they do deserve, a well-paid job. And so that is the work that we're doing, and we're just very excited. Scholarships, you talked about how the generosity of people grew during COVID, and we saw the same thing. So last year we were able to give $32,000 in scholarships. This year we're going to be giving close to $60,000 in scholarships. Latina is going to higher education. We want them to feel supported. And so we're really proud of that program as well. And then I know that you focus on young people, but I do want to talk to you about the fourth program, which is Latina Success Leadership Program. So we're very lucky to be working with the Center for Creative Leadership Institute, a top global leadership institute, and we partner with them and provide a very affordable but top-notch leadership program for Latinas. So these are Latinas that are already successful, but this program really emboldens them to think how they will put their leadership into action for the good of the community. So we want to make sure that they run for office, that they ask for that promotion, but we want them to come back and serve the community. We really need ethical leaders, right? And so we're proud to be doing our part in creating and adding more leaders and more diverse leaders in San Diego. So those are the 4 programs that we have. And I'll be happy to answer any questions that you have. These are 2 examples of our graduates. We have about 250 that have graduated. We're just starting the new year with about 47 applicants. And so it's gonna be around 30 something to 40 something, and it'll be virtual, but it's just so excellent that people are willing to do a virtual program. And, you know, I try to remind people, just because it's $300 and we kept it affordable, don't think that it's not a top-notch program. So yeah, I'll be happy to answer any questions, but I'm really grateful to be talking to you. I was talking to your leadership before this started, and I do think we could learn from you about how do you keep building community? You know, what challenges have you had, and then being part of a bigger organization? I think that we're at a place where we have a lot of social capital, and we really want to mobilize it. We purchased a new CRM, you know, for our members to learn more about them. I mean, we really want to mobilize our community. You know, we're just well connected. We have a lot of Latinas who are influencers, and so we know we can do a lot more, and we would love to learn from you. And thank you for what you do. As a child in Tijuana, I knew about Kiwanis. I mean, you've been doing great work for a long, long time. And so I am happy that we're connecting as an organization, because both of us are doing important work in San Diego.
Oh, yeah. Right.
Thank you so much, Inez. Wonderful presentation and great
So let's
work.
stop sharing, Samantha. We did go through everything, right? Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
I'd like to open it up for questions. Do we have any questions out there? Either we can put it into the chat, or we can voice through hand raising.
Doug has a question.
Thanks, Doug. Go ahead.
I'm just curious to find out your revenue sources. How do you raise money for the programs and the scholarships?
Thank you. Thank you for asking that. So, you know, we have events, and we weren't able to have many last year, of course, but every other year we have a gala, brindis. And so I think that's like a standard way, right, to make money. We've been very fortunate that we have longtime community partners like Cox and Union Bank, you know, and I think as we have been able to show that we're evaluating our programs, collecting data, you know, I mean, we're 35. So I really believe that our organization is going from adolescents to young adult and getting more sophisticated, and being able to show our community partners that we are worthy of $20,000, right? Or $40,000. I was just sharing with Mike and the others that we were fortunate that the San Diego County accepted our grant, and that they will help us bring in a programs coordinator. You know, we're at the stage where we didn't have staff for a long time. And then we had 2 people. I mean, there's just only so much you can do with volunteers, with wonderful volunteers, because staff bring the consistency. And so now we have 5 full-time employees. The county gave us a substantial grant where we're gonna bring in a 1-year person, and then we'll see if the funding can permit. So to answer your question, galas, community partners, longtime community partners that continue. We have a grant writer. We do invest in a grant writer. And now we're going with foundations because we really believe that we have excellent data and excellent programming. And we just hired a program manager that is a PhD student. And so she brings higher ed. I mean, just the caliber of the staff that we're able to now bring in, right? I mean, I have a doctorate degree, and I'm not saying the degrees are everything, but, you know, I did learn a lot. I do bring, you know, before it was like, you know, who will, you know, and even me, I'm doing this for the love of it. You know, I probably could make more money somewhere else. I love Mana. And so, yeah, it's just committed community partners.
Thank you.
Any other questions out there?
Yeah, I have a question.
Go ahead, Judy, you go.
Yeah, I just was going to ask you, you talked about the imposter syndrome. Can you do a little bit more explanation about what that is and how it impacts?
Yeah, yes, because I probably had it too, right? It's just like we don't think we're good enough. And so like there are companies that we think we don't belong there, and we have, you know, we just have a lot of different things. So I'm just going to tell you about my experience. You know, I was raised in Tijuana, and then my first year here was in high school. And, you know, I've actually, it's kind of funny how my career has just exposed me to many different things where I learned about media and the impact of media. And so when I came here, not that people were necessarily making me feel like the other, but I had internalized that I was the other. And for many years, I lost my voice. I felt like the other. And I know that many people of color, many immigrants feel like the other. So actually the imposter syndrome is also connected to not feeling welcomed and feeling like the other, right? And so not feeling like you can say what you want to say. It took me so long to regain my voice. I mean, I was a leader when I was in school in Mexico. And when I came here, I just got quiet. And so imposter syndrome is, you don't even speak, you don't even say what you need to say. And so we're really working. And I know that this is not unique to Latinas. I'm just telling you that this is definitely one of the things, especially if you go to a group and you're the only Latina, and there are still spaces like that. I mean, I know that, you know, there's 34% of the population that it's Latino in San Diego, but the truth is, you know, I worked for a congressman. I would go to spaces where I was the only Latina there. And I mean, you have to, there has to be so much leadership development so that you feel like what you have to say it, right? I mean, it's just like, it's so important for people in the group to hear what you have to say. And so imposter syndrome, you don't say what you need to say, you feel you don't belong. And once you acknowledge it, and you know, this is not just little kids, right? I mean, in the LSLP, in the leadership program that we were talking about, we definitely talk about that. And everybody, I mean, professionals, right, totally can relate to it. And so we give tools to figure out how you just have to be bold. You have to be bold, and you have to say what you have to say, even if you feel people don't agree with you and are uncomfortable, and then learn how to say it, right? I mean, and we're all, as a country, we're going through this, right? We have to learn to talk to people and to people that think differently, but our voice is important. And Latinas, you know, Latinas, I'm a Latina leader, and I can say that Latinas have been invisible and quiet. And so we're generalizing, but as a community, we have to make sure that the Latina voice is at the table. It's just an important demographic. And so, yeah, I'm just gonna be quiet now.
Gordon, did you have a question? And thank
I
you for that.
did. So you touched on this a little bit, Inez, but first off, kudos to you for setting up the partnership collaboratively with Center for Creative Leadership and moving in that direction. I mean, taking it to a whole new level, as you said, that's amazing. So if I heard you say properly, for only $300, they have the opportunity to experience this program. Tell us real briefly about the program. How long does it go? What's the cohort? How many do you put through, and how long to from start to graduation?
Yeah, thank you. So it's actually 4 sessions, and virtually it's going to be 4 hours. So, you know, when it was in person, it was like a whole Saturday, right? So 4 hours virtually. And, you know, the first session, it's about, you know, revisiting your leadership path. And we do address the imposter syndrome. The important thing that we bring to the table is the cultural competency. So CCL obviously knows, you know, all these things about leadership, but I will say, you know, the cultural competency is important, right? I mean, we know what the struggles are about Latinas. And so, you know, there's tips about like the power pose, you know, when you're feeling insecure, and it's like, what is going to be your power pose to prepare for this important presentation? And so there's a lot about accountability. The cohort is about, this year it will be about 40 people. And then you do subgroups, and you have an accountability group, and it is very important because you know, when we hear from testimonials, they talk about their accountability partner, right? Because it is so important to say what your goals are, and then for people to hold you accountable. So I haven't gone through it, and I'm a new executive director. So I probably should be more knowledgeable, but that's all I have to say about that, Gordon. But 4 sessions, and just the testimonials just show what a great success it is, because it's not just, I mean, it's really personal, right? Everybody gets a different thing. It's about branding as well, for sure, and your story, because we got to revisit what baggage we are bringing in and why, and just face it, and then, you know, release it.
Well, kudos to you. I mean, to put 40 of them through that's kind of frosting on the cake, kind of the cornerstone, if you will. So flagship. So kudos to you. Thank you for sharing with us.
Thank you.
Totally concur there, Gordon. Really amazing work, Inez. I would say, you know, you're a 35-year-old organization. You may be looking at the Kiwanis as a 100-year-old organization and saying, we have it all together. You know, where you may be struggling for, you know, momentum with fundraising, you know, we may be struggling with relevancy as it relates to the changing dynamics of San Diego. So we would welcome any opportunity to have you participate with us and help us to, you know, bring an understanding to the changing dynamics in Southern California and Northern Baja region.
I would love that. I would love that and welcome that. Thank you.
Thank you. Any words that you'd like to part with there, Judy, as our chairwoman of the day? I mean, I think this is a fantastic program.
Yeah, I just want to thank Inez so much. And it is a delight to see a person that you saw at the beginning of their career now kind of has totally blossomed into an amazing impact into the San Diego community. I know everybody who has been to Petco Park has passed the MTS building, which is that tall clock tower white building. And Inez was such a quiet but very dynamic person when I knew her. Now I see maybe not so quiet, but it's a wonder. It's really a wonder to see you, Inez. I'm so proud of all the things that you have done, and so glad to reconnect. And I put in my chat that there's another organization that's near and dear to everybody in this organization's heart, and that's Laurels for Leaders. And we'd love to get you more information on that, and I'll touch base with you on that.
Thank you, Judy. I wasn't going to be so bold to distract Inez into Laurels for Leaders, but thank you for doing it for me. I appreciate that. As does Jeremy and the incoming board.
Yeah.
Very good. Thank you so much. Lauren, we had a slot for a program update from one of our grant organizations. Is Ari on?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay. Very good. How are you doing today?
Good. How are you doing? Thank you so much for inviting me. Hi, Monica, and hi, Sean.
For sure. Would you like to provide us with a little update on school counseling?
Yes, may I share my screen, please?
Yes, you can.
Okay, so I am going to be sharing some infographics that a couple of our schools has done. Actually, a lot of our counselors have done it this year, but I just pulled a couple of them out so you could see what our school counselors were doing this past year during pandemic. And it was definitely a different year for us. We were not trained per se in, you know, providing school counseling all over online. We're so used to be in an in-person setting and being personal with students and family members. So this was definitely a challenge that we had to take on, but I am so happy to say that our counselors excelled and thrived, and we were able to definitely support our families and the communities. So this is one infographic from Encanto Elementary School. And as you could see, all these lessons, one counselor was able to go into every single classrooms and total do 473 lessons that had to do with coping skills, emotional regulation, social awareness, relationship skills, and then also focused on diversity and social emotional learning and resilience. And they have 514 students. So all those lessons were given to all the students. She also went in and did 31 classes, parenting classes, bicycle safety, mental health resources, and 250 students and parents were served during this school year during pandemic. And because we did go all online, she was also able to do cyber safety classes for students, especially for older students who might have a little bit more freedom when it comes to, you know, surfing through the web. So she did cyber safety classes for 232 students. And as you could tell on the bottom left corner, attendance was a place area where some families needed a lot of support. So a lot of our school counselors did home visits during pandemic, obviously following all the safe health and safety protocols. But we did a lot of home visits. We did a lot of tech support. So if students were having a hard time signing on, sometimes we were the ones to go and deliver, you know, new laptops, because we are here for everything the students and family needs, right? And we were also making lots of phone calls. So for this school counselors, home visits, 81 home visits or wellness checks were made by her during pandemics, which is very, you know, it takes bravery and a strong heart to, you know, visit families when things were so uncertain. But I do want to let you know that a lot of these lessons that she did, especially that 473 lessons that she did, came from materials that we bought from Kiwanis's money. Right now we are doing materials return because school is about to end. So I'm in the library, but all the boxes that you see on the top shelf, those are our second step lesson kits for kindergarten and first grade. And we also have bullying prevention. We have lots of social emotional learning group books that school counselors, and those were bought from Kiwanis's money as well. So thank you so much. And I do want to also share, hold on, one more infographic, and that would be from Freeze Elementary School. And this is another elementary school that did different things. And you can see, you know, on the top second step logo. And so she did 363 classroom lessons to 263 students. And we also bought character education curriculum with the Kiwanis's money as well. So definitely we are using your donation to support our elementary school students. This school is part of No Place for Hate, which is another partnership that we have with Anti-Defamation League. And they did 3 school-wide activities that taught about diversity and kindness October, this school did 4 classroom lessons at each grade level, serving 263 students about anti-bullying, whether that be in-person bullying or cyberbullying. It's something important that we want to continue to make awareness of. And this school is also part of restorative practices. So they did 11 restorative justice learning group over Zoom. So definitely, you know, if you can't hold circle in person, we're gonna hold it over Zoom, whatever the students need, right? And a lot of our counselors had their own websites as a resources where parents could click on to find different partnerships that we have with different agencies. So these were some of the infographics that our schools did, and majority of the schools that do infographics, but I just wanted to highlight these 2 schools.
Well, thank you very much for that update. That's just astonishing, the amount of impact that you're able to make. And we're delighted on behalf of our foundation and the club to support your efforts to the San Diego Unified School District. And we look forward to a long, continued partnership. So thank you very much for that update.
Thank you.
Karina, would you like to take us through a recap of our events?
First, we have a call to action. We are at our annual meeting, we will be voting on our incoming slate, and we are looking for a club board director. Washington Lincoln Laurels for Leaders is also looking for some Kiwanis member directors. So this is a 3, Gordon says. So if anyone would like to get involved on the Laurels board, it's a one-time event, really not a lot of commitment for Laurels. Same with our club. It's a 1 meeting a month on Zoom. So this is just to put it out there for anyone that may be looking to step up into leadership. We could really use some fresh eyes and, input for our, where we're going to go in the future of our club. All right. We got together for our first real in-person social, and we packed my courtyard. We had even someone from Pacific Beach Kiwanis join us. We did some award presentations that were overdue, and everyone had a great time.
Indeed it was. Thank you for hosting.
All right. Speaking of that, we did have someone. Now, the big reveal of this will be the actual voting or bidding on this next picture is going to be at our annual meeting. But I wanted to show everyone that's here today a little sneak peek of what our amazing president has done for our club. Is everyone ready? I don't think you are. Club San Diego.
I bid -$5.
You don't like those toes, Doug? Come on, those are good-looking toes. If I don't say so myself. So this is an outgrowth of a little dad-daughter foray into a pedicure, and I said, well, why not? Throw on some letters, honor the club.
All I heard was growth.
So get ready for more on that.
Woohoo!
Division 11 did a division-wide effort to help our food insecurity in San Diego, and all of our clubs together helped raise $4,100. And we'd all like to note that our president is the only one wearing a suit jacket. So way to go, Mike, for representing us. We love you.
Woo! See, I do have a suit.
Now we're on to fines, and this is me fining myself. We got to run into Jay Jeffcoat at the Padre game, which Gordon so kindly donated his tickets to me because
How did you run into Jay? He was there. I can't believe it.
Yeah, but I'm fining myself $100 because the first time I tried to go to the Padre game was a complete fail. Almost ruined my relationship because I got the time wrong. I forgot my vaccine card. I forgot my wallet. I forgot my phone, all within like 4 different trips to and from. So this is $100 because Gordon is amazing. And this is like the best part about being in Kiwanis is the generosity, running into other members at games. Seeing Jay was awesome. Trying to help Joyce find Jay was also a fun thing. So $100 for Gordon. So go Pads.
I guess I better meet that with $100 just on general principles of getting people out to the Padre game.
Well, actually, Jay, why do you say that? Because Carl wanted me to bring up this video, but unfortunately I couldn't get the sound to come, but we just wanted to find you, so that was perfect. We'll take your money for the Padres. Thanks, right. Jay.
Thank you.
Yeah, we'll take your $100, Jay. On top of the 100, we were going to find you anyway for the TV spot.
Hey, I'll see you in Del Mar tonight, sir.
Hey, there you go. Skydeck, just in time. You'll
All
see
right.
Sunham too.
It's now our Bills Bucks. So if anyone has something happy or sad to share with us this week, Doug Frost.
I'm happy to see that the Padres are in 3rd place in the National League West.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Very happy.
Really? Really?
$5 happy.
That was $1,000, wasn't it, Doug?
No, it's $5 because the Dodgers are somewhat ahead of them, I think, and climbing fast.
All right, Judy.
Wait, before we leave that though, Doug, is it implicit in that statement then that we can count on you for every week going forward the rest of the season that the Dodgers are ahead of the Padres? You're going to throw $5 into the cup automatically?
Of course not.
Oh, okay.
What are you, nuts?
Doug, where's your faith?
What do you mean? I'm right here.
No, your faith at the Padres.
Oh, my faith in the Padres. My faith in the Padres lags behind my faith in the Dodgers. Unless Tatis hits a lot more grand slams.
I'm donating 20, and I'm not sure whether they're happy or sad. We've had this driving trip to Colorado planned for many months, and we're so excited to know that we're leaving on one of the hottest days, having to drive through the desert when it's supposed to be 120 degrees. Southwest is having issues, so family from Dallas will be, not sure they'll be able to get there, but anyway, I'm sure it's going to be a happy dollar, so 20 happy dollars for that.
I have happy dollars. In honor of my father, Bruce, who had a tendency to brag on his children, I will continue that tradition and brag on my son, Jackson, for getting an A+ in physics.
Whoa.
And my daughter,
just
McKenna,
like me.
My daughter, McKenna, for placing 3rd in the Charity Fair Horse Show, where she showed an American Saddlebred in English Pleasure and did super well. So $20 for my kids.
Okay, I'm going to match that $20 just because we got to hear the pleasantries of the Bolin family, recognizing, as many of you might remember, that when Jay Jeffcoat brought me to my very first Kiwanis meeting as my sponsor, he sat me down next to Bruce Bolin, who was the most generous next door lunch guest you could have possibly asked for when you were the youngest person in the entire room at that point in time. So match me on and bill me a double down there.
Oh, you're awesome, Gordon. You're awesome.
I guess I ought to throw in a 20. My son proposed to his girlfriend this weekend in Hawaii, and so everybody's happy all the way around. He's doing great in his work up there, and she's a PhD candidate at Stanford. So all good things.
Sweet.
Doug just asked about Claire, which I have this for Claire LeBeau. Claire had little Scotty West on May 30th. We did deliver a little Kiwanis care package to her with a custom candle where the name of the beer was Baby Sips. very timely. And I helped design this little announcement for her. So she got some love. She knows we all love her, and she will definitely give us hopefully some virtual time if we can get a hybrid going at our next meeting, but we'll hope to see Claire soon. But she's doing great. Just very, very tired, as all of you parents know. That is to be expected. 100% going to invest in that snoo, because my other friend says she sleeps every night like an angel because of that thing. So everyone give some love to Claire.
Shall we start the betting line now, the over-under line on when the first time we see Scotty West appear at a Kiwanis meeting?
Oh,
It did.
I like that. We got to get them scheduled first, and then we can start taking the bets, right? All right. Speaking of upcoming, on the 4th of July, the meeting right after that on that Tuesday is the 6th. So we're not going to be meeting in case any of you have some elaborate 4th of July plans, which, knowing our world travelers, I'm sure is the case. But we would encourage everyone to get out there and serve, whether it's, calling someone that you miss or picking up some trash on the street, just doing something for an hour to try and help make the community a little bit better. And then everything we've been talking about. Yes, we are celebrating, and we're going to make our first in-person meeting the best one we can. It's going to be a special one. We're meeting at the Bali High. It is $30 per person. You must register online. So we have to give a head count. So if you don't register online, we're not going to have a seat for you. So you can sit outside or not with us, but we would appreciate everyone to please register online. It's going to be great. We're going to knock out all of our annual business right in the beginning, and then just make it a really fun time to catch up and see what everyone's been doing for the last year hibernating. I'm sure we have some new talents and tricks and pets and all sorts of things to talk kids and everything else. So please join us on the 20th. And then when it comes to our August meetings, we're hoping to be back at Admiral Baker, but we're just waiting for the confirmation and the green light with that. But this will be our hopefully last completely virtual meeting, and I'm looking very forward to seeing you all in the flesh. So very excited for our July 20th. And that's it for me, Mike.
Awesome recap, Karina. And I will be at the July 20th meeting in my Aloha shirt. I would all encourage you to do the same, and we're going to have a great time. So I would like to once again thank all of our guests, and in particular, Mana de San Diego. You are in your vanguard stage. You're going to do wonderful things, and looking so forward to hearing more updates in the future. With that, we'll bring it to a close. All right. Thanks, everyone. Great rest of the week.
Great meeting. Bye, everybody.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you. All right.
I'm just going to end it. I'm going to go for it. Just end it for all.
Okay, do it.
Good day.